Hey, here we are! Hey, it's Wisconsin's Classiest Commish, welcoming you to Studio 2B. As always, I am the Commish, and this is Wisconsin's Classiest Commish Live. Alright, there are lots of happenings last week in Wisconsin's Classiest Fantasy Football League, so we're going to get right to them. One of the big deals was something that has never ever happened before in the history of Wisconsin's Classiest Fantasy Football League. Someone lost late in the game on a Tuesday night. So, for the uninitiated, we have definitely had people lose during garbage time on Monday Night Football. They've lost improbable leads. In fact, we did have a name for it. One of our original owners, Scott Hansel, had a bad habit of talking complete smack to anybody he was beating on Sunday, no matter how many players that person had left to go on Monday. He would chalk it up as a win and let everybody know how bad they sucked. And the one season, he turned victory into defeat twice late in garbage time on Monday Night Football after holding huge leads. And so we termed getting beat on Monday night late. We called that getting Scottied. Now, not as many owners talk as much smack as Scott Hansel did. So it's come to mean like just losing period on Monday night in the fourth quarter after you have a big lead. But what happened on Tuesday was unprecedented. So a lot of people didn't watch that game. I mean, it was Tennessee and Buffalo. You didn't know how good of the game was going to be or anything like that. And what ended up happening was, with about 4 minutes to go, just under 4 minutes to go, Derrick Henry ran in a touchdown to put the Titans up by 19 points. That's 3 scores. That game is over. There's under 4 minutes to go. They're up 3 scores. And you expect them to get the ball, go down the field, try to score, probably try an onside kick if they do score. And you don't expect the Bills to do anything else but run the ball, just to run that clock down. 3 scores, 4 minutes, it's pretty impossible. Well, if that's what you thought was going to happen in this game, you were wrong. On the ensuing kickoff after the Derrick Henry touchdown, the Bills fumble the kick return. Titans pick it up on the 26, and you would think that they would just run out the clock. But remember, it's kind of hard. They're going to need at least 2 first downs. They got the 2-minute warning, and the end zone's over there, and so we don't know exactly what they're going to do. They run on first down, run out of bounds, clock stops. All right, well, okay. That's not a big deal yet. Then they run again. Not for very much. Timeout, Bills. Oh, boy. Why are the Bills calling timeout right now? They're 3 scores down. This is a pretty impossible place. The Bills run again. Or the Titans run again. Bills call timeout. Oh, boy. Another timeout. So the 4th down, and the Titans go for it, and they get it with the run. Game over, right? Game over, guys. No, it's not. First down, they run. On 2nd down, they snap the ball, and they throw a touchdown to Jonnu Smith. And in our league, the Kings Game Breakers were up by 3 points. 3 or 4 points at this point. And the touchdown catch to Jonnu Smith is a 6-point play, and the Slaughterhouse Hams happen to have Jonnu Smith. This is unprecedented. The winning team throwing in garbage time for a touchdown. We're used to seeing the team that's behind trying to get extra moral points or something at the end of these games, and they keep their starters in, and then all of a sudden somebody gets 5 catches and a touchdown, and oh wow, now there's 11 points, and in the whole game they were shut down by the starter. That's happened. I don't think this has ever happened. So what I would like any one of you guys to do, this I think deserves its new name, because I know it's 2020, it's something different. when you get beat like this after you've turned off the TV because there's no reason to even watch this boring game anymore, and the team that's winning is the one that messes you up on a Tuesday, this needs a new name, all right? Like some people have said, let's call it getting Rona'd, just call it 2020. Leave it in the comments somewhere what you think this should be called. That will be very interested. This deserves a name. I've written it down in the history for this year. That is a brutal way to lose. On top of it, the loser of that game finds themselves in a huge hole. They're not buried yet, but I think they're standing at the bottom of the hole, and the Undertaker's got his shovel ready. So that was a big game between the Slaughterhouse Hams and King's Game Breakers. All right, guys, we're going to move on. We got the One True Ring Award. Okay, so we're coming out of Mordor here. We got one ring to rule them all. The One True Ring Award this week goes to Dougie Style for scoring 136 points. And he was paced by Kyler Murray and Denard Hopkins' stack. This is the Style's second One True Ring Award for 2020. He is the first repeat winner on the season. Congratulations, Dougie Style. Okay, now one of everybody's favorite segments. We have the Wii Energy Power Rankings. Okay, so there was a little bit of flux in the power rankings last week. We had an upset that dropped some people. We had a dominating win that surged one of the owners who's been right at number 7 for probably 3 weeks now. They've been just right there waiting to bust into the power rankings tops power 6. Number 6. We have the Cuba City Cobra Kai. We're not used to seeing them down this low, but bad matchups and poor performances have the Cobra Kai on the brink of falling out of the Wii Energy Power Rankings. That was a terrible loss. The 2 losses they have this year, they scored 74 and 85 points. That's not going to get it done. Number 5, Paulie here to beat Colby. The H2BC1 and they beat up on the Cobra Kai, but they didn't move. So what gives? Well, there are some definite cracks forming in this team. They are very reliant on the New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Saints aren't who we thought they were to start the season. This could have some dire effects on the H2BC as this season rolls on. So even after the win, they stay at number 5. Debuting in the Wii Energy Power Rankings, we have at 4 Dougie Style. He has rocketed to first place in the Caviar Division, and the Godfather of Fantasy is looking poised to make some more noise the rest of the season. If you look at his 2 losses, he scored a little bit over 100 points. He is winning the tiebreaker for first place in the Caviar Division by 40 points over the course of 5 games. So he's outpointing the number 2 team by 10. Now, he started out a little bit lower, and he's working his way up the rankings. So he is at 4 right now. Just ahead of him is who he is just ahead of in the Caviar Division, the Ingram Toenails. I picked this game right last week. A lot of the experts thought that the Flying Fallopians didn't have a chance, but if you really look at this game, the Toenails had some pretty rough matchups, and sure enough, they reared their ugly head, and Dalvin Cook's injury, that sure didn't help. He's in second place by 46 points. He's going to be looking to bounce back this week against Big Daddy. Big Daddy has quite a few people on bye. This should be an interesting matchup for them. A win, and they're going right back in the correct direction. Number 2, back up where she belongs, back to her winning ways. The Only Bee is looking to turn the bye-week lemons into lemonade. Now, they jumped up here this week, and just in time for their entire team to be on bye. It's not their best matchup for the next week, but they are going for it. And number 1 again, the top dog, RG3, there yet. The RG3 have a dirty, old-fashioned grudge match coming up against the team whose sole purpose for being in this league is stated in their team name, Paulie here to beat Colby. This is gonna be this could be a dogfight. We'll have to see. RG3 there yet though. The number 1 in the Wii Energy Power Rankings. Okay, so we're up here to the Wisconsin's Classiest Fantasy Football League Week 6 preview. Last week I went 4-2, not too bad. It puts me at 18-12 for the entire season. This might be the biggest, best slate of most meaningful slate of games that we've had all year, definitely all year, than I've seen in a long time. There are, I think there is 0 meaningless games this week. Every one of them, the one team needs to win, and they need to win now. After next week, we're past halfway, and so we'll get the chance to, things are starting to set up. So here we go. We got the Phil Lip Service versus Injury Reserve. Believe it or not, the Injury Reserve hung tough with the Battle of the Brothers last week, but again gave way. They were the much lesser team. Phil Lip Service is without Dak Prescott. These are two very flawed teams, but I have Phil Lip Service and Baker Mayfield now taking this one. This game's going to be close. It might not even be the game of the week. They're going to score more points than you think this week, both of these teams. But I got the Phil Lip Service in this one. Flying Fallopians versus King Game Breakers. The Fallopians take advantage of matchups and a completely demoralized Game Breakers for a close win. The Fallopians came out, shocked the world last week, beat the Toenails this week. I think they got the Game Breakers. And this one will be tight. But I got the Flying Fallopians over King's Game Breakers. Ingram Toenails versus Big Daddy for the return of the Packer stack. The Big Daddy employs with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. They're going to deliver the champ a win. If the Toenails lose this, they will need to find a way to deploy the parachute before they get clipped. They are in trouble if they lose this one. Next up, I got Dougie Styles versus the Slaughterhouse Hams. This one is a doozy. They say Styles make fights, and the Murray Hopkins Cardinals D stack will do just enough. I have the Styles to stay in first. If the Styles lose this game, there's so many permutations on who's going to be in first place at the end. But this game, on its face, is a game for first place in the Caviar Division. We have the Only Bee in here versus the Cuba City Cobra Kai. I have the Cobra Kai. They laid an egg last week, but they catch the Only Bee in exactly the right time. This one's closer than you'd think, but the Cobra Kai win this and pull even with the Only Bee in the Champagne Division. And of course, could there be any other Dewalt game of the week other than RG3 there yet versus Paulie here to beat Colby? All you have to know about this game is in the name. Paulie is not messing around. He is constantly thinking about beating Colby. He eats, he sleeps, he breathes beating Colby in fantasy football. And sadly, round 1 will go to the RG3, and they will look to keep holding on to first place. The H2BC are outmatched this week. We'll see what happens in round 2 as we get closer to the playoffs. Okay, now this is everybody's favorite subject, the one that can win you some money.
He sailed all 7 seas to find the best information for your NFL picks. We will now set sail for the Captain's Corner, where the captain is waiting to make you a winner. Let's go!
Okay, it's Captain's Corner. Woo-woo. Okay, so the captain's been having a little bit of a rough time this year. The C's are rocking back and forth. Whew, that was not a good week. If you were betting along with the captain, you went 1-4. That makes me 3-7 over the other weeks. Overall, another week like that, and we might have to look at selling that yacht. Okay, that ain't so good. I also was I'm now 0-2 on my drop anchor picks. I think I'm gonna have to start calling them the drop deuces picks, because that is unacceptable. So we're gonna try her again. That's the best thing you can do, sail towards that calm weather. This is a wild 2020 season. It's hard to pick these games on Thursday. Don't know who's playing, who's doing what. But the captain, he's gonna give her a shot. Okay. Arr. So we got the LA Rams at San Francisco. I got San Francisco +3. They were just thoroughly embarrassed by the Miami Dolphins, of all things. The Rams have been playing they've been playing some cupcakes. San Francisco is going to come back with a vengeance today on Sunday. San Fran +3 at home. I have the Chicago Bears +1.5 at Carolina. Here's the thing. Who has Carolina beat? Nobody. I watched that team, and they've taken advantage of their schedule, and that's fine. The Bears have taken advantage of their schedule, but the Bears have a #1 legit defense. So I feel like this game she's going to be close. I got Chicago +1.5 at Carolina. I got Houston +3.5 at Tennessee, and you're like, Captain, what are you doing? They just beat the Buffalo Bills by like 300 points. How are the lowly Houston Texans going to match up against Tennessee? Well, here's the deal. Tennessee had 16 days off because of their own malfeasance. And Houston is getting a little bit of extra energy from their 92-year-old coach, Romeo Crennel. So I got Houston here +3.5. This game is always close. I got Houston over at Tennessee +3.5. Okay. I like to stay away from these games. Like I told you, I am a Green Bay Packer fan. I am going Green Bay -1 at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay hasn't shown me anything this year that would say that they deserve to be better than Green Bay. Green Bay has really showed a lot of moxie. Let's see if that bye week came at a good or a bad time, if it slowed down their momentum or not. But I got Green Bay -1 at Tampa Bay. I'll give them the 1 point there. And then we have our drop anchor pick of the week. Sploosh. Kansas City -4.5 at Buffalo. Buffalo's hurt. They played hurt on Thursday. They got to come back on Monday, or on Tuesday. They come back on Monday and play. Kansas City has done this rodeo before. Kansas City really let go a winnable game. That game was not what the score showed it was against the Las Vegas Raiders. They went away from the run. They really could have just ran over the top of those Raiders. So this is a kind of a misnomer. Buffalo is better than what they played against Tennessee for sure, but this is just a buzzsaw back-to-back. I got KC -4.5 at Buffalo for my drop anchor pick of the week. All right, we'll get the hat back on a little bit better here. Okay. There's no Thursday night football game tonight. Okay, that's why we're on a little bit later. We know we're not going to bust you into that. I want to let everybody know the docuseries is going pretty well. I'm starting to write some things, getting it sketched out. I've written the first scene. It looks pretty good. I'm finding out things about the league that I had completely forgotten, and I don't think anyone else remembers either. I've also been putting together a game-by-game database. I did not want to do that. Basically, this tells you who you played and what the score was for every game that we've played. I've made it through 2013, and I've made a database for both regular season and postseason. And we'll be getting it. I'll be updating it. It takes me about 40 minutes to enter the data for each season. And I'm remembering things that are unreal. Like the 2013 season was the worst ever. And we'll find out why. That will be a great one for you guys to figure out what's going on. I'm really, hey, for all you guys going over to Wisconsin's Classiest Commish and checking it out, I really appreciate it. I see that people are going. I see that the docu-series is slowly on the uptick of views, which means it's got a little bit of legs. Somebody's watching it every other day. And so I appreciate that. It's a labor of love. It's not crazy. It's not something that's going to win any Academy Awards, but we sure are having fun with it here. And I guess, hey, that's all I got for you guys tonight. I want to thank everybody for watching. Wish you guys good luck this weekend, and I just want everybody to remember to stay classy.